Hello, everyone. Welcome in. We're going to be playing some Pyre tonight. Oh, hi, not Luke. Dag, Daggy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I love you, buddy. Ow, that hurt. You a little grumpy? You didn't like the butt tap? Eh. You want to hang out on the desk? Yeah. Okay. So, we are going to be working some more Pyre. I was looking it up, and there's only like 20 something total rights that you have to participate in. Right, work. 20 something total uh to participate in. There's like 7 total liberation rights. I think one of them happened one at least one of them happens right after the other. So like we only have another 4 cycles to go through, really. Hi, buddy. Yeah, I see. Oh, right. Okay. Ah, that hurt, dude. Oh, display. This game is so buggy. Okay. Once again, you find yourself amid the serene walkway of the moonlight alcove. Here, you can await the time until the stars deign to shine for you again. We've returned to a place of respite. Please make yourselves comfortable, such as you can. We are at the mercy of the stars, but I explain they shall shine bright again in time. I expect they shall. As for me, I shall return by then, for there's something I must do. From there, atop the sacred mountain, you gaze down into the abyss that is the downside. You wonder when the stars shall align themselves once more. There upon the sacred mountain, you and your companions once more await the night the stars begin to shine again. The plan of which you are all a part of is set in motion. The Commonwealth, a nation that stood for almost 1,000 years, is in turmoil. If your companions return there through the liberation rites, what sort of place shall they be coming back? Many moons pass. One evening, amid the downpour, with no interest whatsoever in relenting, Wilfred requests everyone to convene. You understand he has an announcement of some sort. Soon, everyone is assembled, and Wilfred regards everyone. There is an aspect of our plan which I've not talked about with you at length. Look around at your companions. What do you see in them? He lets the question hang a moment in the air. I'll tell you what I see in all of you, in all of us. I see in all of us a living vision of the eight scribes themselves, each one among them hailing from different tribes which later formed our Commonwealth. My observation does not come from pompousness, I think. Rather, I believe the scribes themselves desired, or shall I say, desire, such a course. Together they created all this ceremony of which we're now a part. The exiles liberated through their rights went on to found the Commonwealth based on their values and their teachings. Thus, an instrumental aspect of our plan is to embody the spirit and the culture from which the Commonwealth arose so many centuries ago. That way, when we are all united on the other side in solidarity, the people shall see that we reflect the values they yet cherish in their hearts, not merely our own. Anyway, we're still missing one key representative on behalf of Molten Milithy. Passion. Wow, okay. And I happen to know a certain bog dweller to who I think shall fit the part most splendidly indeed. He motions for someone to approach. A certain bog dweller slithers forward. You recognize her straight away. It is my pleasure to introduce you to a dear old friend of mine whom I believe you've met. Welcome to the Nightwings, Bertrude. The bog dweller called Big Bertrude utters something guttural by way of greeting. We are to understand that ye require further aid from me. Yes, dear Bertrude, the time has come. Bertrude here is far and away the most accomplished alchemist whom I've ever met. You soon will find that she knows much about the rites as well. Bertrude looks and uh, you and your fellow exiles each in turn. We frighten ye, apparent. Everyone is silent as Bertrude searches their expressions. Then tremble, small ones, and hold well thy tongues, lest we remove them. She takes her leave without another word. Please excuse Bertrude's blunt manner. I guarantee she shall more than make up for it. Everyone disperses, and it now seems that the ranks of the Nightwings are complete. Now then, my boy, perhaps you noticed that the stars are bright once more up there behind those stubborn rains, meaning it is time that we got back to business. Indeed, once more, several stars shine bright within the cold and stormy sky. You are set to re-encounter the Withdrawn, led by Witch Udmilde. However outlandish her intentions seem, one ought to be aware of her, or beware of her. He then reveals what he has learned of her and her designs. Witch Udmilde, one of the bog dwellers, head of the Withdrawn, a triumvirate more interested in legends of Islak the Astral Born than the right. Her kind was known to be reclusive in the Commonwealth, yet she was brazen in her disdain for common values. She practiced the unspeakable. Somehow, one day, her research into flammable reagents grew into an obsession with Isla. Despite wide widely held belief that he is dead or never did exist. But Udmilde held that Islak is merely dormant and shall someday be reborn with newfound hunger, which could only be sated by devouring the world. Then at last could Islak return to his glorious home, and Udmilde would go with him. When Commonwealth officials showed up to take Udmilde in for spreading unrest, she was all too eager to comply. After all, sentenced to the downside meant being that much closer to Islak's resting place, where she believed she had much work to do, where the withdrawn stood ready to assist. In short, the eight scribes would certainly not approve of what she aims to do. So be careful in her presence, reader, and for now, good night. You bid the lone minstrel a restful night in kind. It is too late to take flight, so you expect to press onward come daylight. You find Big Birdsherd looking about the black wagon in a disapproving way. She fixes her gaze on you, her expression does not change. Such clutter added to this wagon since we last looked upon it. Unsightly. We remember thee from our abode in flagging hands. Then thou must be the reading one whom Sandalwood referred. She moves close to you, studying you. You recall that the mere touch of a bog crone of the southern bogs can induce paralysis or worse. A distant region of the Commonwealth, left well alone despite technically being a part of the nation. The cold and forbidden marshlands are home to the bog dwellers of Sar, colloquially known as crones. One such as thee can extract meaning from that tome. 'Twas a feat we wished to witness for ourselves. That one. Thy flesh has seen but the smallest fraction of the years which ours withstood, and yet we are expected to believe that thou canst understand the Book of Rites. Then she backs away for some time. Then she backs away, for someone else has joined you. Hail, Burchard, madam. Is everything to your liking at this time, or is there something more which you require? We have been unable to locate a supply of rotworm gizzard extract among thy belongings. Other than that, we shall lodge no complaint at present. It is possible that Volfred has a small supply among his possessions here. If you'd care to accompany me, we may yet procure some. That would be agreeable. Yes. Then after you, madam. As they depart, you think you see the lone minstrel nod his head your way. In the words of Solium Mur, the last of his name, with these blackened nails do I hereby inscribe the rights of flame. The bylaws shall be written here in full. We, the eight, decree the rights a test of one's true worth in body, mind, and spirit. Now, until the stars abandon us, shall be binding law within the downside. Those deemed worthy in the rights are to regain their freedom from the downside and return from whence they came. Exiles shall conduct the rites as one of nine triumvirates and look toward the stars for guidance on their path. Exiles shall bear this book as status. Hmm. Like, okay. The essential structure of a rite shall be as follows. Where chosen by the stars, within the dark of night, shall two triumvirates stand in opposition. Far enough afield beside their consecrated pyres, symbolizing their resolve. In each triumvirate, the three shall act as one, to demonstrate their trust in one another, not just themselves. Triumvirates shall endeavor to extinguish the pyre of their adversary, whose flames are only to be staunched through a celestial orb descended from the stars. Whosoever's Whosoever pyre remains burning shall prevail. The triumvirates are to disperse. We, the eight, have seen the turning of the stars from now until the ending of our age. Heed their guidance and ours. The stars take many cyclic turns. The rites commence at their behest. upon celestial landmarks where the downside's greater titans fell before the heavens. Bearing this, the book bestowed on your triumvirate, you, the reader, shall perceive under which stars you are to congregate. Follow where they lead, as your adversaries shall. If either of you fails to appear, then neither of you walks the path. Whether you prevail or fail, from that point the stars shall guide you on. The rite shall not commence until the necessary preparations are complete at the celestial landmark, ere the stars align. Exiles shall conduct the rites bearing this book, of which there are but 40 copies, each bound in astral hide. Exiles shall wear the sacred raiments fashioned in our likeness at the summit of Mount Elodiel. Their identities are to be concealed, for they shall represent us all. Exiles shall set a metal sigil for their pyre and consecrate the grounds using the words. The 8 scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours. The heavens shall respond when all is said. During the rite, each triumvirate shall act as one, unerringly and without question. The disobedient shall suffer banishment or permanent expulsion. Exiles shall move as of a single mind, to demonstrate their faith and recognize that they, as we 8, cannot prevail alone. Their worth shall be determined both by their actions and their peers. Triumvirates lacking experience in this may designate a reader, whose focus on this book may help the others to coordinate. However, only those who shall conduct the rites firsthand shall walk the path towards enlightenment and become eligible to regain their freedom. One sec. Yeah. Go. No, you were mean. Go. You're doing all the bites. I don't like the bites. Go. Be gone. At the appointed time, at the aligning of the stars, the heavens shall rain down upon the ground sufficiently prepared, and thus the two opposing pyres shall be set ablaze. Thus shall commence the rite. Triumvirates are to protect their pyres as they would their lifeblood. Lifeblood itself is never to be shed, therefore, before, during, or after any rite, lest the disobeyer suffer permanent expulsion. Exile is injury enough. The rite is an act of mercy. Fear not the purifying flame. Plunge into it headlong and without fear, for ye shall be protected by the stars themselves. Seek freedom in the flame. Exiles bearing the raiments in this book reveal their hidden inner aura in the color of their flame. The aura is the exile's solitary weapon in the rite. Should one's adversary cross one's aura, the adversary shall be banished. Banishment is fleeting, nonetheless. Seek the pyre's light and thus make your return. The exile's presence shapes the aura. Exiles gain greater auras while standing side by side with their triumph, for we gain strength together. Exiles may cast their auras through sheer force of focus on this book. As the two flames are lit, so shall the celestial orb fall from the heaven. But one such orb shall be availed by the stars, requiring triumvirates to vie for. Its cosmic connection to the flames, the raiments, and the book bestows the necessary qualities for its bearer to prevail. Effortlessly sails the orb between the 3 in a triumvirate. It seeks the grasp of whosoever acts among the 3. Once grasped, the orb shall draw within it all the bearer's aura, fueled by the triumvirate's own flame. It is to be cast into the. In each rite, we gain enlightenment, whether we prevail or we fail. Indeed, through most failure do we tend to learn the most valued lessons, provided we survive. None among us has prevailed without end. Exiles who walk the path toward enlightenment shall at times be struck by an epiphany and achieve mastery in some respect. Choose well amongst these blessings we bestow, thus you may yet achieve your potential and surpass your adversaries. Whenever you prevail, your triumvirate earns favor. In time, the triumvirate with the most favor shall be summoned to the liberation rite to earn a chance at freedom. Then the cycle shall begin anew. The liberation rite takes place upon the fall of Solium under a blooded moon, witnessed by the heralds from the stars. There, the most favored triumvirate shall confront the one which we appoint. These two triumvirates shall first shall pass through Scribe's Gate, where their worth shall be assessed under the stars. Only the most enlightened exiles within each triumvirate may be anointed for a chance at freedom. Two of their companions shall support them whilst they strive. The anointed champion of the triumvirate which prevails then shall plunge into the shimmer pool and return to glory. Or return. Unusual etched cards depicting the greater titans, probably for curses and enchantment. Fruit yields fruit from time to time, though only if one says the magic word. Received a down bear. You rise early that morning, though Bertrude is already awake. She scowls at you. Good morning, reader, Bertrude. I trust your stay has not been too uncomfortable. Nay, Sandalwood, the comforts of this place are not for us. Fly us forth from here, to lower ground. Let us get on with this. The reader here shall do so once the group is ready. I thank you for your patience. Soaring far above the Sclorian shore, you notice Pamatha gazing down at the frozen cliffs below. That damned place down there. I like it least of all. I think among everywhere we've been, I'm thankful there's been no reason to return. Reminds me of my home is all. The high wing remnants. We grew accustomed to the thinner air amid the cliffs that breaches the clouds above your commonwealth. But it was not the nicest place. Little wonder that my sisters settled for a rather warmer base of operation in this land by the Ness of Trieste. Anyway, I'm pleased to have to spend as little time near here, or as little time as possible near. Let's fly on by and go about our business. The unmistakable remains of Zilvius Horseheaded, which protrude from the ashen fire there below. Some have taken it to be a work of sculpture. The mare Titan vanquished by the scribe Triesta Tithus. She broke the land beneath her burning hooves, whinnying vengeance. The tale of the Titan felled by St. Triesta Tithys that is more unbelievable than the thought that some daring exiles over many years carved the Titan's visage out of stone. Be that as it may, the climate of the cliffs are home now to exiled harps, such as the Essence, whom you faced here when you first arrived. Even they do not all know of the locale's sacred significance. Your wagon touches down in the black basin where you first met Wilfred and Pamatha as well. You briefly wonder at what might have happened had your paths not crossed as you consider what to do with the remains of the afternoon. Wolford is poring over a copy of the Book of Rights as you approach. He looks up at you and smiles. The Road to Freedom, written in a book that hardly anyone believes exists, and fewer still can read and comprehend. Sometimes I marvel at how absurd all of this is, my boy. Tell me something, though. I've spent so much time considering the book, but know so few with whom I could discuss it in much detail. You've had some time to turn through it by now. What do you think? Worth all the fuss? You've come across more than your fair share of books, but none quite like this. It is an archaic volume, dense with lore, and you are not concerned with at this point. You'd rather reserve judgment until you've had more reading time. Book of Rights is meant to be experienced, cannot be described. You tell Wolford that the book has fascinated you, and that you have never seen anything quite like it. He nods slowly as you describe your experience with it. I share the sentiment. To have in our possession a genuine artifact from a forgotten time, how much of it is exactly true, and how much of it is the scribe's retelling of events? I find it endlessly fascinating to consider. He puts away his copy of the book. It is amazing that these volumes have survived for all this time, I think. Whatever they are made of has withstood the ravaging effects of time quite well. And the ideas there contained, they remain rather provocative as well. To think the Commonwealth disavows the existence of this book despite official recognition of the eight scribes. Although the reasons why are in there, written plain. How fascinating that its secrets have been kept for all this time. Anyway, you'll have to excuse me for my extracurricular interests in its teachings. I used to teach a version of its history. To have access to the real thing has brought me some small pleasure. Let us be certain to preserve these volumes for whomever shall be next to use them. He turns his attention to other matters and bids you a good afternoon. The continent we called Black Basin shall one day tear itself apart, arriving upon blackened molten crags. Tolerable only by the harp Trieste, we pressed onward toward a suffocating wood. This land felt to us somehow primordial. Deep in its roots and noxious crevasses lay innumerable clues as its ancient as to its ancient history. But we had little time to excavate, for our supplies by then were thin. Further, we were lost. Our best attempts at circumnavigation all had failed. It was Luce Glorian who reached out at last unto the stars, and they revealed the way. Then we at last could see the sacred Mount Elodial, there in the distance. Gaining the summit of the sacred Mount Elodial involved no small amount of sacrifice and sorcery, in varying proportions. I've read this before. You follow Ruki to an inconspicuous looking locale somewhere in the stifling vapors of the Black Shore. He soon procures something from a hidden stash. All right, chum, we got what we came for. No funny business, just the way I like it. The ashen effigy of the nightmare titan Zilvius, horse-headed, looms as dark as ever are on the precipices of the Black Basin, where her chaotic influence sundered the land itself until it wept with fire. The very instant that our graceful friend Trista Tithys finally laid to rest the greater Titan with the power of the holy scepter of the Empire, the stars shone down upon us all with a blinding light. Triesta thought that she could bear her children in the warmth there, but alas, now the stars revisit that locale with regularity. The fissures in the rock do pose more danger than one ought to invite, but a summons to the nest is to be honored. You find Ruki having just put back his green tail family portrait. There is something of a wistful look. Ruki's well to do Kerr family tied to the Commonwealth's thriving mercantile industry. Then something comes over him, and he moves in close, lowering his voice. Look, chum, I gotta level with you about something here real quick. Truth is, I haven't been entirely upfront with you about my family situation. He hesitates a while, then we ain't exactly as rich as I've been letting on. I mean, we do just fine, and we got lots of money stored away. It's just mostly locked up in savings, bonds, and he seems to catch himself in the middle of another tall tale and relents before you can respond one way or the other. The situation is my mom back on the other side. She needs a little bit of help, financially and all she's got now are my knuckle-headed uncles to keep her steady. I always told her I'd make something of myself, you know? I was just a clerk in her shop. Things started getting tough for us, so I started looking for all kinds of different work. Got in with some unseemly sorts, I guess, but the pay was real good, and we took to shipping certain types of stuff down here. All down here of all places. Flushing it straight down the river. Watertight. The pay was right. Mom was so proud of me. We were eating real good all the time. But you can probably guess what happened. I barely scraped by after they flushed me down here. Would have been food for a bunch of howlers had Jody not bailed me out of a tough spot one fine evening. As for my mom, she doesn't know the half of it. My uncles told her I'm away on business. Not entirely untrue, I guess, but if she knew, it'd break her poor. So, don't know how else to put this, chum, but I want to get out of here. Get back to what I was doing back home. On the straight and narrow. I'd go straight this time for sure. Just don't go telling everybody that old rookie Greentail's just a mama's boy, okay? I got a certain reputation to uphold. He quickly scampers out the door. His past has been weighing heavily on him, but you sense he was sincere about wishing to lead an honest life. Hey guys, come on in. Say now, whatever happened to that smiley headwind guy? Did he really get out of here like I've been hearing, or what? Boom, 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 boom. Race until next liberation is 3. The mood is more dour than usual as you make preparations for the coming rite. A hush has fallen over your fellow exiles. A sense of dread hangs in the air. At least one of your companions is unfazed. We sense the influence of one of our own. She is nearby, her mind corrupted, calls out, screaming. Canst thou hear it, perhaps? She speaks of witch Udmil, the adversary whom you expect to face this night. The witch, she doth revere an ancient god undying and unyielding on this land, and on her consciousness. We may attempt an exorcism here, for the conditions are unique, and she may not be expecting us to be abetting. However, 'tis a risk upon her mind and my note, although a worthwhile risk, perhaps. Gertrude seems to think that Udmilde can be weakened somehow through the coming rain. The stars above begin to shimmer with their strange light. Let's say, yeah. There, the star of Islak, our adversary worships it, and whom it represents. Fixate upon that one, readings one, if thou darest evoke its power. Do so, and our adversary Udmilde shall be emboldened, but also left vulnerable to our own sorceries. We may yet limit her ambitions thus. Sure, I'll give it a shot. What's the matter, Zag? Big Bertrude can pounce long distances in the rights. What have we here? Ye have returned once more unto our presence. Yes, we sense something among ye who. Bertrude slithers forth and gazes at her adversary. Thou maggot, we should have known. But Bertrude does not respond. Ye Nightwings, that one shall be of little benefit to ye. That one's sorceries are a mere pittance to the overwhelming might of Islam. Soon ye shall see. Hold a moment, reader. The crone Bertrude slithers forth, wearing the raiments of the rites. Now that Bertrude is among our ranks, it would be best if you could become familiar with her repertoire. You have no obligation to make use of her abilities, of course. Good Bertrude, please show the reader something of your aptitude. We expect thou shalt be soon inclined to bring our sorceries to bear. Long have we studied the rites of thine. Let us show thee what we know of them thus far. Now then, reading one, know that our freedom is of little consequence to us. We side with ye because of Sandalwood, because of his plan. We shall aid ye in the rites, and we shall aid ye in that plan. Thus, we are at thy disposal and await thy bid. Reading 1. Thou invoketh the star beast. So then, beware. Through our sorceries shall Udmilde be cast into hopeless doubt about her faith upon her God. It shall be done if we prevail, but only if our own mind shall perhaps be forfeit otherwise. Seems that through the outcome of this right, either Udmilde shall be permanently weakened or Bertrude shall instead. Tisa urges you all to face Udmilde without. Ah, now then, Nightwings, ye wish to mock Islak? Ye in your infinite foolishness shall be among the first to suffer. Oops. Nope. One of our own, seeketh ye the lifeblood for thyselves, yes? Ye wretched witch, tampering with eldritch forces of which ye knowest not. Ye forfeit everything for an abomination from the stars. Point. We thought perchance ye sought the true enlightenment. Yet ye reveal yourselves to be as narrow as the things which ye now with which ye now consort. Islak shall devour ye as all the rest. Ta-da! Dick. Ah, how can this be? How can this be? Islak, answer us. Islak! Islak! Richard Mildy continues her screaming, having been defeated in the right. You observe Bertrude there, fixed in a meditative pose. There, Mildy, relent, relent. Thy God has not abandoned thee, because thy God is dead. Thy God is dead. Pray to him all thou likest. Yet it shall do thee no good. As Bertrude recedes into the shadows, Mildy slumps down, staring at nothing before her. Impossible. This cannot be. Answer us. Answer us. Mildy has suffered 5 hope permanently. Tizo gives thanks to Hal the Swallow for watching over and protecting. Thus does our grasp of ancient stories, sorceries grow ever stronger still. Now Bertrude's Pyre has less than them. Her adversaries deal -10 to her. Once per right, saluting adversaries, Bertrude turns them into fast-moving howlers. After Bertrude pets, she recovers all her stamina, while slithering, Bertrude uses 50% less stamina and moves 30% more quickly. It's more than the adversary. She deals an additional 5. I feel like this is the stuff I want to use most, and then I'll probably just take that one because I don't care about the taunt. Um, Zach, you're so warm. This is nice. After defeating the withdrawn rather decisively, you return to the wagon to find Wolfred and the lone minstrel in the midst of a conversation. Most strange that this one star should be illuminated now. This is not what I expected. Nor I, Wolfred, sir. Then Wolfred notices you. Reader, Tarek and I observed a strange occurrence in the skies. It appears the star of Kaelmer rope collar is illuminated now, but it is but another star, except our models and predictions of the cosmos do not anticipate this. The first exiles came into the lands not by force, but by heeding the rope collar's deceptions. The traitorous former aide of the emperor, his actions inadvertently led the eight scribes to fight. Anyway, go see for yourself. I shall make the wagon ready in time. You see only a single shining star illuminated far above, just as Wolfert indicated. Then we are summoned to the Isle of Kaelmer, deep within the Deathless Tempest. The traitor Kaelmer rope collar fled to this strange isle and met a fitting. Have you been there before, Tarek? So long ago I scarce recall the time, only the scent. It is the place from whence the creatures native to this land sprang forth. Reader, let's not concern ourselves with superstitions held about that place. We'll set forth at dawn and soon see for ourselves what to make of. You're unaccustomed to seeing Bertrude smiling, and yet there she is, doing just that. You soon see why. You have observed before how her manner seems to soften to the degree it can whenever Fulford is around. If only you could have seen their faces then. What was your secret, dare I ask, dear Bertrude? It appears that they are reminiscing about old times in the Commonwealth. Flame-resistant inks, sandalwood. It was the inks themselves which kept the volumes from being burnt to ash. Flame-resistant inks, of course. The good officers who came to visit were so intent on burning all the evidence, they did not stop to think the evidence was fire. Alas, they later found a way to burn thy stamping press regardless. Thy written words, they moved us many times, and many others whom we knew there in those southern bogs. No matter, dear Bertrude. What's done is done. At least we can make it difficult for them. Is that not so? While introducing some of our fellow citizens to new ideas. Perhaps. My words would not have reached near half as many if were it not for you. Not to mention how I managed to elude them for another decade or so. I am ever, I am ever thankful for your sacrifice. Thy thanks is not shall not be necessary, Sandalwood. Well, you shall have them from me anyhow. Thank you, Bertrude, for helping to fulfill a modest author's dreams. What good's a stamping press without good inks? No good at all. They exchange a laugh at this, but then, even still, and through this new ordeal, thou hast no love for us. Is that not so, Bertrude? Nay, we understand full well. Thou needst not further explain thyself. There are different kinds of love, Bertrude. On that account, thou hast nothing to teach us, Sandal. They remain silent for a time. Our hearts cannot, they cannot be controlled, Bertrude. Blessed things they are. They act well on their own. He puts away his pipe. I am blessed to have you in my life, back in the Commonwealth, and here as well. I mean that, though I know that is not good. That is not. At first, Bertrude does not seem to acknowledge this in any way, but then, nay, Sandalwood, it is enough. It is enough. She departs without awaiting a response, brushing past you as she goes. Wolford soon turns away as well, politely bidding you a good evening. The two old friends have evidently managed their way past certain tensions in their long standing relationship. They seem to draw a certain strength from it. The stars shine strange beneath the sea. This one dared rise from the waters so that he could see them plain, the burning essence of those who came before. Our lives are but a quest to join the stars. This one longed to be the brightest, but in the downside, this one met those whose own stars doubtless burned at least as hot. Together we achieved great deeds. You may have seen some evidence of it. The remains of the greater Titans which once darkened this land. But in our kinship was the strength to conquer them. It is this one's humble charge to chronicle those deeds. And may the Titan stars never stain the sky during your time. The foul name of the star Titan is written here but once. Do not invoke it, lest you aid its reawakening It sups on despair and fear and doubt, and lands such as our own. 'Twas our mighty mistress Milithy which tracked the astral-born monstrosity within its loathsome pit, where it laid nursing wounds sustained from traveling across the stars in search of simple prey. The wicked astral-born could drive a lesser creature to the brink of sanity with a mere passing glance, but not Milith. She cast upon the fiend 100 words of binding, each one more binding than the last. With the creature's incandescent skin, we bound this book and bound ourselves up to the stars. Volfred joins you as you soar high above the storm-ravaged waters on approach to the infamous Isle of Kale. Among its cursed qualities, it seems this wretched storm means I cannot rightly smoke. One of the downside's small misfortunes, I suppose. Hey, Unbroken Memory, how you doing? The wagon's drive imps seem not to mind, at least. In fact, they seem more animated now than usual, sir. Perhaps they feel some sort of connection to this place, Terry. Do you suppose the Tempers were able to make it here intact? They ought to have seen it in the stars, though we soon shall know for certain. We shall. Take us in, please. Take us in, please, reader. You make landing within a deathless tempest, far west of where you first breached through to shores beyond. You wonder which sort of celestial landmark lies hidden amid these waters, though for now you have some time left before continuing onward. Rummage with Tizo. The little imp Tizo's keen senses for things now takes you far into the dark waters of Barb Reef, an old exposed reef off the coast of the Isle of Kamar. It used to go by Barbara, but decided Barb sounded much less formal. Keeping up with him proves difficult at times. All of a sudden, he begins to hop and screech. Tizo wants you to help him dig up something right under his feet. You begin to dig in the vicinity and soon uncover something long since buried, perhaps for someone such as you to find. If the bear is banished, an ensuing blast can banish adversaries in a radius of 250. Hey, Tizo. Tizo seems to be in the midst of a conversation with the little minstrel as you approach the two of them. The little imp appears perturbed about something, and above all, he was very, very loyal. Fiercely so, in fact. All throughout the land knew better than to underestimate him in spite of his little stature. In that respect, Tizo, and in many others, I might add, your great grandfather was very much like you. Tizo seems to be asking the lone minstrel to confirm he is not playing some sort of prank. I am being serious. Have you known me to be the jesting sort? Tizo seems to be admitting the lone minstrel has always been sincere with him. Just so. Then please do not denigrate yourself, for you are not only his heir, but you are my remaining link to him, and thus to all the eight. And more importantly, you are my friend. Tizo is grateful to the lone minstrel for his kind words and considers him a friend as well. The Nightwings need you now more so than ever. The lone minstrel turns to you. Is that not so? Tizo is not only important to the group, but seems to be in need of a confidence boost. You concur with the lone minstrel's assessment of Tizo. As a most remarkable companion, a most remarkable and irreplaceable member of the group, he is an extraordinary imp indeed. As Tizo rushes up to you and gives you an imp hug, or at this, Tizo rushes up and gives you. Tizo is grateful to you and your kindness and your support. Tizo bounds off happily as the lone minstrel looks on. And there he goes. Thank you indeed. Tizo sometimes loses sight of all that makes him special, a quality uncharacteristic of his kind, but not so much uncommon among yours. Once there was a time when he was the sole imp able to conduct the rites. Since then, however, other triumvirates have found him with the capacity for it. They make for useful allies, no? More than willing to conduct the rites whilst having no desire to leave this place, although little Tizo does have dreams of visiting the Commonwealth. In any case, I am certain he shall continue to serve the Nightwings. The lone minstrel bows his head on his way out, bidding you a good rest of the afternoon. Plus one hope. We waited for the deathless tempest to subside. We waited, but the Underking, he merely laughed and laughed, for the deathless tempest does not subside. What lies beneath that stretch of sea to cause such an upheaval is best left to myth and speculation. We made passage nonetheless through sorceress aid and fortune, scarce seeing the surrounding environment. We did detect a landform to the west. Solium Mur detected there the presence of the treacherous aide who lured him into exile, and then followed him in turn. Mur, in his wisdom, thought it best to be avoided. At last did we arrive on distant lands, though, seeing them provided little comfort. Cool. Okay, we'll take a quick break here. Oh, yes, we're going to take a quick break here. Okay. Here in the steady currents of the deathless tempest, you encounter a messenger imp come to deliver news and rumors from the other side. The news this time pertains to Hedwyn, whom you liberated at the Ball of Solium. You learn Hedwyn's returned safely to the Commonwealth, where he was clothed and welcomed, his past transgressions all forgiven. He was groomed for a leadership position of his choice, whether on the council or the blood on the council or the blood border, each equally as lucrative and secretive as well. However, he refused, and before the stunned council members could do anything about it, he left them. He since made contact with Wolford's agents and is working together with them. Thus, the ranks of the revolution grow strong. What's that? You got your treats. Per the messenger imp custom, the last part of the message was transcribed from Hedwyn word for word. Keep going. I'll see you there. You thank the messenger imp for relaying this information. Soon, your companions are all abuzz about it. I wonder if he'll ever find the one he fell for. A glorious example Hedwyn sets for all of us. I always thought Hedwyn was looking for someone out there back home. Do you think he found her? He's just happy to hear Hedwyn is back in the comic. Oh, okay. You want down? 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 Go down? Go to bed? Go to the bed? All the way? Here. Go for it. Yeah? Yeah. May that boy's spirit infect a lot of ye as would a plague. Yeah, that's how it's done, Hedwyn. Right behind you, chum. News of Hedwyn's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. Your wagon shudders to a halt at the Isle of Kaelmer. Bizarre outcroppings give it a forbidding feel. In the distance, you hear odd gibbering noises that sound like drive-ins. Ravenous creatures indigenous to downside possessing few passions other than a fast meal. A few in the Commonwealth believe these beasts are real, though stories of them are often told in jest. Oh, guys, how'd you find me all the way out here? I mean, this is for extra special customers. Nah, I'm only joking, only joking. You're the only customers I got. Got you again, only joking about that too, huh? Because I got tons of customers. It's just they already bought a lot of stuff today, so they're not here, okay? Anyways, I got just a little something here, which maybe you'll be into. Been hearing about these little numbers for a while. Check them out. Huh. Thinking these singers are supposed to be for a couple of lovebirds. Know what I mean? But anybody would have probably anybody could probably use them, provided they want to buy them off me. I was gonna get them for myself, but anyway, let me know if you want them. No, Zach, stop. Stop, Zach. No, no, stop. Okay. You cannot survive the downside if you cannot get around. Howlers shall descend on you, or tempests shall tear you to pieces. That is the way of it. Traveling through the environs is no simple feat. Consider yourself blessed if you are born a cur. If not, however, you shall have to find the means to cross the lands without the benefit of four strong paws. Luce Glorian believes this untamed land can be traversed through means unnatural. I thought at first he meant sorcery, but he suggests invention. He speculates that carriages could cross this land by harnessing its fury. A wild thought. In my case, my paws shall suffice. The traitor Kaelmer rope collar, whereas he brought about our empire's fall, whereas he nearly claimed the life of our. He tried to steal my popcorn. Whereas he nearly claimed the life of our dear Solium, we forgive. We have forgiven him. We give a certain thanks to him, for he has played a vital part in the star's plan. If not for him, then we, the eight, would never have aligned. We never found the rope collar. He fled into the sea, towards an isle which we knew well to avoid. 'Twas there we think that Kaelmer's tattered mantle finally did him in, among the wild nymphs. Should the stars ever converge above that isle, it shall be to signify that their long dance across the skies is drawing to a close. Uh-oh. Zag, stop. Zag, no. Stop. Stop. No. You stand before the bizarre outcroppings of Isle Kawa, the Isle of Kawa. The sky darkens, and in the distance you hear the sound of gibbering creatures growing louder. The sound of it is unnerving enough that you follow your fellow exiles remain quiet, their eyes affixed to the stars above. What do you think of this, Zach? Not a fan? Tails told me you're not happy with it. Yeah. Okay. Ed? Yes. No. Oh, I don't want you trying to go for my popcorn, dude. I know you're going to try. Stop it. Soon something in the sky above begins to stir. Lord Gandra. Hey, look who wants a piece of us again. It's the damned Nightwings, here to knock us down another peg or two again, I guess. Well, at least you got old curly horns out of this dump. I gotta give you that. One look at her and you just knew she was too good for this place. No, maybe that ain't saying much at all. Any of you Nightwings see her again, tell her something for me. You let her know Iggy says hi. You let her know. Not that she'll remember some dumb lunk like me. Ignarius shoves on his mask. All right, Tempers, let's give it to him like we still got a chance. Oh, I'm ready for them. All right, you damned Nightwings, let's see what you got. As the ride commences, the imps throughout the cavernous area roar with excitement. Our struggles and our plan. Mere entertainment to these lonesome creatures. Begging your pardon, sir, the imps of this isle are quite passionate about the rites. Just now they offered a bounty and soul if our triumvirate proves worthy. They would pay us in exchange for what exactly? And where did they get the soul for that matter? My understanding is they wish to see us perform various feats of glory. As for the source of their wealth, who can say how much soul lies lost within the sea? Reader, it may seem beneath you, but the opportunity is real. If the soul could be of benefit. Indeed, then, reader, my boy, it is yours to decide if entertaining these sad creatures is a justifiable distraction during these affairs. We trust your judgment. Now, let us not distract you further here. Feats of glory, flashy displays of mastery and rights which certain types of imps were willing to pay to see. Girl, your Nightwing's been, uh, you've been practicing, ain't you? What about you, Ricky? You just a washed up old goat? You're just a washed up old goat. You're through. How long are you gonna keep at this, getting weaker and weaker, worse and worse, huh? He's real harsh on himself. Come then, Nightwings. Finish it already, will you? Sooner we wrap this up, sooner we all can catch some shut eye and put an end to this damn today. Zag, stop. No, no. The imps grow more and more agitated with each passing moment. Some start spilling out onto the sacred ground. I hate these things. Go on, get out of here. We're in the middle of something here. What a joke losing to you lot again. The younger me would have tore you to pieces. Ain't never getting out of here if we keep on like this. Good time is any to say thanks for having me along on this strange little journey of yours, reader darling. The strange designs of these eight scribes, their everlasting sorceries are strong within this land, and we shall yet make further use of them, we think. After you and your fellow exiles vanquished the Templars, you find a little minstrel tending to one of your own. Tamatha seems to be unwell, although you cannot yet sense why. How are you feeling, madam? Can hardly move my wings or uh, at all right now. It's like I'm terribly exhausted all of a sudden. I see. Then please do not exert yourself or try. The little minstrel motions for you to come closer. Reader, Pamitha appears rather disoriented and more fatigued than usual. Reported feeling not entirely present. Symptoms of banishment sickness. Mhm. She should soon be able to take part in light activities, I think, but under no circumstances shall she be able to conduct the coming rite. Now, then I ought not keep you from the stars above. Please go and look at them, for all of us, I think, are anxious to depart this way. Seek no your destination. Very well then, reader. Once more you shall praise manly and the chastity once when next the stars align. We may set course for the Hulk of Horus at dawn. For now, please get some rest in the remaining dark night. Sure. Mur, the horned one, formed the tempers upon his own ideal. Ingrained in this triumvirate are basic truths about the dual roles of strength and gentleness. The horned one, he has a he has had a dualistic nature for as long as he and I consider each other friends. The stories I am told about Mur's youth describe no one I know. All of us are capable of more. I was once an imp that could not write. Mur was once a man that could not think. The Tempers were once ordinary folk. Now they rise to greatness, always striving, never overreaching. They are not like Mur. They are not like Mur himself. Rather, they are what Mur wished he could be. Hmm. Tiny Tempest, entertaining, but would unleash calamity if ever were to be unbottled. You thought Ricky was trying to get your attention, but soon realized his attention is fixated on somebody else. May I assist you with something there, Mr. Greentail? Ricky has not struck you the sword to ever be at a loss for words, and yet, no, I was just, trying to see if maybe Tabitha gives a laugh, not in an unkind way. At ease, Ricky, darling. You should know I have no immediate plans to snatch you up and eat you for a snack, if that was your concern. No, it's just, I mean, I, uh, what is it then? Hmm? Look, I've got this really stupid question here. Been bugging me is all. It's just us curs. We don't have many run-ins with you folk, and so what is your really stupid question, Ruki darling? Okay. Here goes. Um, how come how come how come you always wear that hat? Tamitha remained silent for a time, then this helm was given to me by my blood sister on the night of my first kill. Slowly she reaches for the helm. Ruki Greentail. This helm, it means nothing to me now. I want you to keep it. What? Tamitha begins to laugh again. Come on, Ruki, darling. You've got to stop being so serious around me all the time. I don't bite. Besides, we seem to make a decent enough team out there, I think. You're pretty quick. Ruki laughs rather sheepishly. All right. You got me pretty good there, sister. So, that stuff you said about the hat then? Total nonsense. Mostly I just happen to like it. So you're saying I can't keep it? If I get out of here before you, Mr. Greentail, it's all yours. It's a deal. He skitters off before Pamela can respond. She simply shrugs at you and smiles. Mama mug. Magma mug, sorry. Provides a bit of warmth on cold nights and something at which to nod and stare. find Faye gazing down into the depths. The water is so very beautiful, and yet it's very dangerous. I guess they said it's always dangerous if you fall in or drink enough of it. But the scribes, they have protected us, and they are watching. I just know. Even out there, the waters of Under King Oryx, they urge us on. I feel it. I just know. There's no denying that the North Current sends you quickly on your way. Perhaps it is the thought of reaching land again, but you can sense a spring in everybody's step. Ooh. This knight is always keen to take on even the bare scrap of wisdom, Master Reader. You find a remote spot where you and Sir Gilman can discuss any of his misgivings or fears about your journey or your fellow exile. The conversation gives perspective and relief. This knight wonders at times about why we are here and which forces have transpired to bring us to here together. Has Under King Oris himself taken an interest in this noble quest? Fear. That's, oh, Master Reader, is a word that this knight has oft neglected to include in his vocabulary. Faye seems to be speaking to herself again, unaware of your presence, or shows no sign of it, at least. Mercy, freedom, they are intertwined. Mercy shall engender union among all our different kind. Mercy shall engender a union among all our different kind. She's reciting passages from the Book of Rites, though to your knowledge she cannot read. Freedom to the worthy. The downside cannot let us all go free, thus freedom to the worthy. Is that not so, O Saint Triesta? Is that not the conclusion which you formed with your 7 most trusted friends? She pauses for a while, as though listening, and nods her head from time to time. Yes, I see, I see. I see. Well, I'm ever grateful to you, Saint Triesta, for your guidance and your presence. And I wish all of your friends safe passage out there among the stars. It must be so very beautiful out there. With your wings, you can fly freely, can't you, Saint? You can visit me at any time and come and go as you please from the stars all the way up here or all the way here. You do not need a pair of wings in order to be free. I know. And yet sometimes I wish I was like you or Miss Pamitha. But I know I am the way I am because I'm meant to be this way. And I know that you are always watching. So thank you, Saint Trius Tithys. Thank you and all your friends. In the Commonwealth, her unwavering faith in the eight scribes would have been seen as a delusion. Such prayer or communion was forbidden. The scribes were mythical figures, but even they worshipped the stars, and it was the stars that lighted the way for the founders of the Commonwealth, or so its leaders taught. Hey, hey, it's you guys again. Just come on in and have a look around at all this stuff I got, okay? I got some new stuff here pretty recently. Maybe you've seen it before, maybe not. I don't know. Talisman is at the highest rank. Oh, okay. As you await the stars, the form dressed in raiments of the rites approaches you and Volfred. At first, you presume it for one of your next adversaries of chastity, but he cannot be one of them. Besides you, Volfred starts, something you have never seen him do. You observe the colors that he wears, an inverse of the night. Volfred Sandalwood. It has been a while. No, this cannot be. The demon unfastens his mask. It can. You perished. I watched you fall. You did. I grieved you for years, and yet you now live. I do. Although these horns, they grew long ere I could walk again. Unbelievable then. Why are you here now, Warlike? You know full well, Wolfred, to reclaim what is mine by right. The demon Oralek leaves without another word, just as the stars above burst to life and seem to set the sky aflame. You go check it out? Go on. Hey then. Time Singer Heart. Star of the Sky Titan, once routed by the eight scribes, the flagging hand. What happened to the chastity? The stars showed we were to face them. They must have suffered a misfortune of some sort. Tampering with the stars' designs is not permitted, Orlek. Cheating the worthy of their rightful liberty is not permitted either. You must know I took no part in that betrayal. Search your heart. Orlek says nothing for a time. Then, wear your raiments, Fulford. I refuse to wear them. I've refused to wear them since in show solidarity to you. And to elude the voice, I would suppose. Described within the book, it calls to you during the rites and reminds you of your exam. Yes, that too. I see. You were never very good at this anyway. We shall see if that new lot of yours is any better. You cannot be serious. What sense is there in us standing against each other? But Orlek puts on his mask and stands ready. I shall crush this lot of yours, Wolfred. You shall see that I am not so easily discarded, and you shall not deny my liberty again. Reader, the adversary whom we face, Orlek, he is not one to back down. He is very experienced in the rites, even at the time, and so he was very experienced. And so beware. There was none in his day who could prevail against him. He appears even stronger now. I wish I had more valuable advice to give in this. I wish I had foreseen this. Tizo is filled with mixed emotions in confronting Orlek, but is prepared to fight. Such a triumvirate you have assembled, Wilfred. Then let us see what they can do. Come, face me, false Nightwings. Tizo. He's a venerable Trivan. Tizo fumbles with his mask. Tizo recognizes Orlek and greets him tentatively. It is good to see you. Orlek reaches for his mask in return. How is the horn? Mended? Tizo indicates his horn has not bothered him for a long time now, thanks Orlek for it. Good. A full recovery then. But it is unfortunate to see you standing there with them. Tizo. Come with us. No questions asked. The proposition seems to catch Tizo off guard. Tizo indicates that he will not abandon his friends or their quest. He seems to be pleading with Orlek to stand down, to listen, to not give in to anger. But Orlek shakes his head. He puts his mask back on. This is something I must do. Tizo dons his mask in return. He chirps nothing more. Okay. So long as our pyre yet burns, this is not over. But come, now, let us put an end to it. You, who call yourselves the Nightwings, it seems you have learned something from Sandalwood after all. But you are the Nightwings in name only, and as for the rights, it is a mockery of what it once stood for. All this, a stain upon the legacy of the scribes. Wilfred looks on as Orlek departs without another word. Orlek, forgive me. Orlek he has changed. Scarce resembles now the one with whom we traveled then. I'm afraid so. I can only begin to imagine what he has been through all these years. Reader, as you can see, Orlek and I, we have some years in common. A story for another day. I need to some time to look at how this affects our plan. Reader, sir, Orlek is a principled person. His freedom was denied him just when it was in his grasp, a doleful tale. Bulford shall tell you more of him in due time. Of that I have no doubt. For now, it seems the stars beseech you once again, sigh. There, deep in the infinite dark, you once more see a single star shining brighter than the rest. Once more, then, unto the fall of Sol. Excellent. Our plan proceeds at pace, but we need but continue to make good on all such opportunities the stars present, so much as so much as possible. When our ranks within the Commonwealth, then our ranks within the Commonwealth may yet grow strong enough that we shall sway the people toward our cause. It shall be difficult, but the people have their hearts and consciences, and the Commonwealth has long since lost its way. The never ending wars with the high wing remnants, the passing of more sentences of exile than ever before for increasingly more dubious causes, the burning of books, the outlawing of literacy, these are corruptions of the teachings of the scribes. Together we shall prove it soon enough. Wilfred, sir, what of Orlek? Wilfred says nothing in response at first, but then Orlek appears to have his own agenda now. We shall have to try and keep an eye on him, although our plan remains the same. Anyway, we have a mountain which we need to climb. Let's rest. I'll rest up a bit, if possible, this night. We fly at break of dawn. Tizo seems despondent following the confrontation with Orlek. Tizo is filled with mixed emotions at having seen Orlek again. Like Volfred, he thought for sure that Orlek had perished long ago. Tizo is angry that Orlek acted so unfriendly with their boy. The little imp looks at you with sadness in his eyes, but says no more. He skitters up into the rafters. FinFam, Drake Raid, welcome in. How's everyone doing? We were doing some WWE. I figured that would be the case. Welcome in. Welcome in. How was your stream? And Raiders, if you need to do anything, please heed your needs first and foremost. Remember, this is all for fun. You're under no obligation to hang out, though it is appreciated if you want to sit around and chat with us. Hell yeah. Thanks, Bearwolf. For those of you who don't know, I am Necrometer, a variety streamer here on Twitch. I also stream for Extra Life. I am a part of the Sus Squad, Loopy's team. And oh geez, peach crackers. I'm curious. I actually really like peach, but I now I'm curious. Um, but yeah, a variety streamer, extra life streamer. And currently we are playing through Pyre, a bit of a narratively focused game with some sports ball esque play. It's amazing. The peach crackers. But- I'm yeah, yeah. Let me see. It's not Ritz peach crackers, is it? It's like an actual. You'll need to give me a link for that at some point, I think, just so I could see what they are. Because I actually really love peach. You don't need to try them. You pay good money for Drake to eat them. Hey, that's. I mean, hey, peach. Peach hot sauce. Actually, that sounds really delicious to me. But I really like spicy things, and I really like peach. So I'm weird. Okay, okay. I focused too much on the cracker, not enough on the. It isn't spicy. It's just Kinder's wing sauce and dip, bourbon peach barbecue sauce. Dad, why are you biting me, buddy? Here's the demon. He's not happy right now. Yeah, you're not happy. That is Zagreus, named for another super giant game. Technically. Drake made it into a peach cracker, but not by Look, all I'm saying is I might actually enjoy it. I like I I'm not seeing anything about it that I would hate in the description there. Um Oh, you know what? I think bourbon peach Kinder's wing sauce. Um I think they sell this at Safeway. I might just ask my brother to pick some up, see it so we can try it. I go good on a burger. I go good on a burger. But yeah. Uh we just hit $400 on my campaign, so I'll be doing a reading stream. This doesn't count as a reading stream. This is just a game. Although I do a lot of reading on this. I'm planning on reading some stuff from Edgar Allan Poe, maybe a Lovecraft short story or two, and then depending on what I can find that's public domain. And then I'm thinking since we hit it and it's December, maybe a Christmas story just to have it all nice and seasonal. And if we hit 500, I will be playing Phasmophobia on stream in VR. It is something I have already done on as a guest on some other people's streams, but I've never done it with my perspective being streamed. Um, so I'm hoping that will appeal to some people. And we are only $70 from hitting that. How's that? How's that? Thank you for the hydrate, Bearwolf. And if anyone's interested in giving a treat to the little one, we do have some incentives on the page still to give him either some dry treats or even a lickable treat. The lickable treats he gets very violent with, and there is some prep time to it. But yes, so where were we? Downside climate, in the words of Jomer Menimane, the Alpha Chief. I know of no polite way to describe the climate here. It oppresses every living thing except perhaps the native flora in a few specific areas. Once more, the recommended course is to keep moving. Moving keeps you warm when it is cold. Or when it is very hot, you use what strength you can to move to somewhere you can think and breathe. The weather in the downside seems intrinsic to the different regions, which my good friend Molten Milithy shall describe. Shelter can be difficult to find, and you cannot stay in it for very long. Perhaps, however, shelter can accompany you rather than constrain you. Zach, don't chew that. He's trying to chew the Velcro on my mic arm. What is a life without an adversary? If not for forces that conspire against the will, life would be devoid of its innateness, the desire to overcome. Thus, when we, the eight, at last each fashioned a triumvirate based on our own ideals, we realized a void still needed to be filled, as the night sky needs moonlight. We eight were united. Our triumvirates shared our affection. They needed us to set them all against a common foe. Thus did we form the Nightwings, a triumvirate envisioned to exceed them all, both through means mortal and divine, and given undue favor in each turning of the cycle. They are the adversary we all face. How to sustain oneself with food and drink in such a place as this? The less of it said, the better. We do not complain, observe. Or do not complain, observe. And above all, keep moving. The sources of sustenance avail themselves to those with keener sense. In warmer climates, search the ground at break of day for subterraneans. In colder places, dig for them, give them purpose. Drinking pools are rare, but moisture in abundance outside the sand folds. Some is poisonous, take only what you need. The downside limits any opportunity for excess, but provides enough amenities to meet the needs of life. One who withstands it cannot help but feel a sense of gratitude. Oh, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I should probably take a break. I do plan on going a little bit later tonight. I do work tomorrow, but I also want to get through a bit more of this game. And we would still have another 4 liberation rates to get through in this playthrough after this one. So, Rookie shall gain favor, Faye shall gain favor. Cool. So, quick BRB, and then we'll get through this and at least get through the liberation rite, and then we'll see how I'm feeling after that. All right, we're back. We're trying to teach Zag lessons about not starting with certain things that he doesn't want the results to. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. No, Zagreus. You land amid the old masonry of Mount Elodial, at whose summit awaits the liberation rite. Hey, Cricky. Thank you for the hydrate. It appears that was the last of my water. Thus begins our third ascent to the fall of Solium. My agents in the Commonwealth report our plan is proceeding. Let us strive again to liberate one of our own and raise its chances. Zag, stop. Stop. No. I see you thinking about hitting my hand, dude. No. That's all right. Getting bullied by my cat while playing a game I don't really care for entirely, but with some time to spare after having landed, you joined Ruki on a brief expedition to the monument of Halb the Swallow, first of the 8 scribes of the Book of Rites, known as the Gracious or the Accursed. No, an imp of rare intellect, he showed compassion to Solium Mur after he fell into exile. I've already beaten it once before, so that's kind of helped me through it, but it's I actually like the narrative sections of it. It's just that there's a very brief period or there's very brief periods in this game where I'm just not happy because I don't like the gameplay of the core gameplay mechanic of this game that actually dictates whether or not you're doing well. Doing well. There's also no real doing well or not. You could just like totally flub everything and you end up with a totally different story. So, hey, Scribes, it's your pal and ever loyal servant Rookie Greentail here, just stopping by to say hello is all. If you're feeling generous, though, I'd let you know. Just thought I'd let you know. I'd sure like to get on out of here this time, okay? So let me out, okay? I owe you. I owe you. Soon, you and he are finished paying your respects. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Halb Swallow has shown you favor. You shall soon begin your scent, though there is time yet to pursue your vocations. We're letting him out. Rookie's a good boy. No, you attacked me. I did nothing. Yes, he did. Very well then, educate us if thou canst. You and Bertrude discussed the meaning of the rites, developing a deeper understanding of this contest created to determine the worthy from among all those pitted against each other. This land so rife with eldritch knowledge, long forbidden in the Commonwealth, we learned the stuff of fear itself. The height of sorcerer's power formed the basis of the rites. Our predecessors gained such knowledge throughout their travails. Ruki is counting the group's supply of soul when he sees you approach. He rushes right up to you as per his custom. Hey, chum, I was just seeing what we could pick up from the slug market the next chance we got. Been running some numbers here, and by my count, we've made old Falcon Ron richer by 655 souls so far, if you can believe that. Sometimes I think he's fleecing us for all we're worth, you know? But I figure we got a decent arrangement going on. Hoarding soul ain't gonna do us any good down here, and Ron's merchandise can help us get ahead. Those talismans are weird, right? But they seem to work, especially if you heap some of that Stardust stuff into them, right? Say, you don't think it's cheating using that stuff, do you, chum? He does not give you the opportunity. No, anyways, that Ron and I, we go way back, all right? Like, you don't even know. He and I, why, technically, we knew each other even knew each other even back before I ended up down here. He was one of my importers, so to speak. Yeah, he and I, we had a good thing going for a while. Sent all sorts of junk downriver to him and back in the Commonwealth. The soul was still worth something to folk. One day, of course, the jig was up for me, you understand. So imagine his surprise when I ran into him down here and right here on his home turf. You make an effort to imagine Falcon Ron's surprise. Traveling sales creature, proprietor of the downside slug. Yeah, fine. So Ron doesn't shed no tears about me getting thrown down. When I first met him face to face, he just says, "Oh, hey, Mr. Greentail," like he's expecting me or something. Though he did seem pretty miffed about losing me as a supplier. But he's got me as a customer. Believe you me, his prices would be 10 times worse if not for Rookie Greentail's premier loyalty discount taken off the top. Just whatever you do, don't go around asking questions about him. Believe you me, the less we know about our good chum Falcon Ron, the better. Anyways, I'm off to chase my tail for a bit, so I'll be seeing you around, chum. He bounds off out of the. Whilst traveling the old masonry on the way to the summit, you pass a monument to Jomer Minimane, and Tizo happens to take notice. I greet you all again, old friends, and you especially, great grandfather. Thank you for watching over me and all of us. My friends could maybe use your help if you would offer it to them, whether through me or any of one of us. We shall honor your names in the nights to come. Soon you and he are finished paying your respects. As you prepare as you prepare to continue your ascent, you sense that Jomer Minimane has shown you favor. Tizo gains 2 presents for the next rite. You and your companions arrive again at the scribe gate before an archway carved of stone. Shall we, reader? The minstrel leads you towards his counterpart, who seems unsurprised to see you all approach. The exiles of the Nightwing, and you again, Tarek. Greetings, Celeste. We have returned. The stars shine darkly these past nights. Nothing more than a portent of your arrival, is it? Likely nothing more. Now they are ready for you. Then come forth, each of you in turn. Please state your name and what it is you seek whilst crossing the scribe's gate. Wait, you. She points to Bertrude. You are new amongst this group. You shall go first. Please do as she asks, Bertrude, madam. We are known throughout the downside as Big Bertrude. We follow Sandalwood, for we are fond of him. He led us into exile, and he shall lead us out. The gate guardian acknowledges her and motions for the rest of you to proceed. Everyone does so, as before, including you. Once you have all declared yourselves, she regards you all for another moment and beckons you toward the stop. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Thank you, Celeste. Until the summit, Tarek. Just wait until I do the actual reading stream. Then it'll be actual bedtime story. Hey, welcome back, you guys. I guess this is a pretty decent spot for business all of a sudden. Because used to be. It was real bad up here. Uh by the end of the year, let me see what I got for like uh maybe next week. I might want to give it a little bit more time, maybe do it after Christmas. 'Cause I'll have a lot of the week off so I could actually really prepare things as well. Because I'm only gonna be working like 3 days that week. I'd be here just to wait and wait and wait. Sometimes it gets real, real cold, like I was telling you before and stuff like that. So anyway, you buying anything or what? Bottle devoid. After getting banished, the bearer returns in a burst that draws in nearby adversaries. Ugh, it just the way it goes sometimes. And again, you have reached the fall of Solium, where one among you can go free, provided you prevail against the essence in the liberation rite. Reader, we would ask a moment of your time. We have to talk. As darkness falls, the minstrel Volford pulls you aside. Or the minstrel dad. We have some news that is, depending on how you look at it, potentially unfortunate. The lone minstrel directs your attention towards the dark night sky. The stars are fading. It is true. With the advent of the Titan stars, visibly fewer stars seem to be shining than once you saw in the sky above. Yes, the stars themselves are vanishing. Why, I do not yet understand. But what it indicates is this: the rites are drawing to an inexorable end. The light of the stars. Without it, the rites would not be able to commence. Anyway, that is the bad news. The good news is there are a lot of stars to go. How many liberation rites remain, I do not know as yet. This arithmetic is complicated. An estimation of the number of stars, the rate at which they fade, the accelerating rate at which we're being summoned here. Anyway, I'll work it out as soon as possible. For now, I felt that you should be aware. We can inform the others in due time. At the moment, though, they have this right to think about it, and so do you. Look forth. As the stars begin to shine, Volfred's words begin to sink in. It seems you have a limited number of chances remaining to liberate your companions, including this one now. Sylvia's horse-headed. Adversaries shall never be banished after plunging it. Ooh. Oh, I'm making things harder for myself because I haven't deactivated the one Titan star. Okay, we're setting Rookie free at this one. The pyres burn in each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. I concur. The pyres burn in each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. Then, anointed one of the essence, come forth now and declare yourself, and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. Tamitha swoops down from somewhere and unfastens her mask. I am known as Tamitha Thane. I mean to return to my ancestral home and promptly resume my responsibilities as flight tactician of the High Wing Remnants. Our long stalemate against the Commonwealth shall soon be ended. Should I and several of my sisters manage to rejoin our, then our vengeance shall be swift and thorough. Your quarrel with the country that cast you into exile is beneath the notice of the scribes. Here you shall be judged under the stars. My quarrel with the Commonwealth is all that gave me and my sister strength enough to reach this point. The scribes ought well take heed of how my people suffer. We are not weaklings anymore like your Triastatiths. Like your Triastatithis. We shall not fall in line with flightless fools and their naked attempts to subsume our heritage, our culture. Speak not again thus of the saint, or you shall be expelled, Tamitha Thane. Tamitha scoffs, then turns her attention toward your side. And in Nightwings, as for you, the fury we shall imminently show is nothing in comparison to the hatred growing for your commonwealth in the mountains on the other side. She signals to her sisters to ready themselves. You seek your freedom, but there shall be nothing save for devastation should you manage to return. As for you, Nightwings, you bring darkness with you. You have wrought upon what have you wrought upon the stars? Celeste, please, we do not know what is amiss here. The Nightwings have come only to see that the liberation is carried out. Indeed, then make your choice, Nightwings. Who among you is to be anointed here? Ruki, anoint. Good choice there, chum. If I get out of this, though, if I get out of here, I don't know what you're gonna do without me. Uh, Tizo. Tizo seems very determined to support Ruki. And Zag, why did you bite me? You know what? Let's just go fast and wild on this. By this knight's honor, he shall fight with all his might. Although Rookie's probably going to be able to do this pretty single-handedly. One final obstacle to overcome ere I can soar again above your commonwealth. Such destruction I shall rain upon it soon. But first, let us dance this final time. Hi, Zag. Don't bite. Stop. Boy. Good boy. Good boy. You listened. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As the liberation rite continues, you sense Pamatha reaching out to you, or perhaps just reaching out to anyone at all. Reader, someone, please. Let her prevail. Let her prevail. Please let her prevail here, this once. Sorry. If this thought makes me a traitor, so be it, but please let Tamitha prevail, for she is here wrapped up in all this because of. The plea trails off and Pamitha remains steadfast, her attention focused on the liberation rite. And as for Tamitha, prepare yourselves, Nightwings, and as for you, Pamitha, I await the outcome of this night, for it shall soon ensure I may never have to see your smirking countenance again. Zag! Go hang out on the bed. Hark now, my sisters. Damn what the book says. Advance to strike formation. Prevail against these wretches, no matter what the cost. In disregard of the ways of the rights, Tamitha Thane has ordered her triumvirate to push further afield, adopting an even more aggressive stance for the remainder of this right. And that's the gameplay I don't really much care for. Thank you, Bimmy. Damn you for this, Pamitha. All of this because of you. So, what now? I guess I'm just supposed to jump into this waterfall thing back here, and then that's it. Home free. Home free. Something comes over him. Then, now listen to me, chums. And don't any of you go thinking you're gonna miss me, yeah? You're gonna do just fine, even without old rookie Greentail here to keep an eye out all the time. Even though the rest of you are just a bunch of slowpokes and all that. Me, I'm going to be busy drinking myself silly on Commonwealth stock. I'm sure I'm soon gonna forget each and every one. But in case I don't, you be sure to stop by and visit me if you get back there too. Just look for Mama Greentail's shop right in the heart of town. You can't miss it. So yeah, stop by, say hi, you know. Now I think I gotta go. So excuse me. He drops into the shimmer pool and disappears with it, although you can still hear him going on about something. Well, let me tell you, this is weird in here. Hey, it's starting. Oh. Wait. May he return in glory. Mm-mm. You were mean. Yes. Well, Pamitha, truly did you get the best of me again. Know that your actions put our sisters on the other side in even greater peril. Not that you care, of course. Yet I am certain that they shall someday prevail, with or without my aid. Thank God. To think I was born to share blood of someone such as you. You prevailed in the liberation against the Essence. Already does the Black Wagon feel quieter than usual without Ruki, who returned to the Commonwealth. You overhear some of your companions reflecting on this. Tizo is sad that Ruki is no longer here, yet happy for him. Surely the good Ruki would rather that we celebrate than grieve. You wonder who, if anyone, among you shall be the next to go. Then Volford asks the group together. You sense you know what news he is about to share. Everyone, I must apologize for bring such news at this late hour, but I feel that you all would wish to know as soon as possible. The context of our plan has changed, which now has a 54% probability of success. He looks about at everyone before revealing to them what the stars have revealed to you both. The stars are above our disappearance. They seem to just be fading away one by one for reasons that the scribes alone may know for certain, though we all may harbor our suspicions. See for yourself if you have any doubt that this is so. A hush falls over your companions, all exhausted from the rite, now stunned into silence. If this phenomenon continues unabated, we have every reason to believe it shall. Then the rites shall cease when the stars no longer shine. Permanently cease, that is. Your companions exchange glances. You sense negative emotions rising, confusion, fear. Before I gave you the impression that should the Nightwings not prevail in a liberation rite, there would be other chances. This remains so, however, our chances are numbered. The exact number I've yet to ascertain, but to be quite frank, there are more of us than we have chances left. You sense your fellow exiles are beginning to realize what this means. I know this must be difficult to hear, but it is not to be a cause for panic. Our plan remains essentially unchanged. We shall take which opportunities arise and return as many as we can. I urge you all to take whatever time you need to think this through. At dawn, we shall head south again to Moonlight Alcove. We can discuss this further then. Now please get some rest. Our path grows harder, though not insurmountable. Not while we stand together. We can still prevail. The group disperses. Some whisper in hushed tones, others turn to their quarters, speechless. There will be time later to better understand this omen. After the liberation rite, you find Sir Gilman in an uncharacteristically quiet and contemplative mood. He salutes you crisply with his tail. Glory to you, Master Reader, and glory to the noble Rookie Greentail. Long may he prosper in the Commonwealth, and in so doing, may he benefit the plan into which we have all been thrust. Then he falls silent for a time. You sense him growing very emotional. In Noble Rookie, this knight found a kindred spirit, Mr. Reader. One of questionable honor, the greatest cunning, and such blinding speed as to befit a minstrel's tale. This knight fears our triumvirate lost something irreplaceable in him. Of course, this knight is also pleased that Rookie has achieved his freedom. So, and furthermore, this knight shall now continue training even harder than before. Rookie Greentail, this knight shall train on and until such time as he is swifter than the jagged lightnings of the deathless tempest. A tempest raging in the Sea of Solace seemingly for all eternity. Now, Master Reader, this knight must beg his leave of you, for it is time, not for his rest, but for his training. Know that he is very grateful for your wisdom and your guidance in these rites. Between yourself and Master Rookie, you have installed within this knight an unshakable resolve. He bows low and bids you a good evening. Each one of us within the 8, besides the imp Haub, we would have perished in the downside had we not found each other and together formed our union. Here in the downside, all are bound, but that which binds us here does have some latitude. We chose the bond of kinship. Our exile took precedence over our differences. The Empire, which had subjugated all our kind into a tense alliance, shall give way to a society in which our differences are paramount. There may you embrace your ancient cultures, whilst jointly forming a great culture all its own. Next to mercy, it is kinship that shall form the bedrock of our commonwealth. Only two until the next liberation. Okay. Yeah, so it does get faster and faster and faster. I thought there was a thing of like, it tells me there was supposed to be a thing that tells me like the odds that each of the members of the triumvirate would help improve the plan. Not that it really matters. I'm planning on sending who I'm going to be sending regardless. Um, and it's going to be those two for sure. I think I'm sending myself just because I didn't do that last time. And then I don't know which of these two I'm sending. Probably Tizo. Because honestly, Faye's more at home here than up in the Commonwealth, and Tizo actually would like to see the Commonwealth. All right. But it is 11 o'clock, and I do have to work in the morning. Honestly, up a little bit later than I would like to be. We're going to do a quick thing to guarantee the save. Good morning, everyone. We are at the mercy of the stars, and none can say how soon they'll shine for us again. Let us recover for a while at the moonlight alcove and decide how to proceed. There we go. Okay. So let's see who we are rating. I think Lee is my only lurk who is still on. We could go over to A1 Twins, who are currently playing Don't Starve together. We go to someone we haven't been to in a while. Go Era. We could go to Savage Music Man. We could go to April. I think we'll go to Quee. He's currently in a BRB. He's switching games, but I'm gonna have to raid and run when we get over there. So it's all well and good. Yeah. So tomorrow will be some EDF. I checked with my brother. He said he should be down, so we'll be playing some of that. There's also some stuff going on with the Sus Squad. I'll link to the channels and share the announcement stuff in my announcement channel on Discord. But yeah. So, thank you for joining me tonight, everyone. Hopefully, you had fun with this. I do enjoy the narrative side of this game. I do like the decision making that you have to do. I just I wish the gameplay was something I enjoyed a little bit more than I actually do. Um, we're gonna go over to Quee. He's not Sus Squad, but he is Sus adjacent. He does participate in a lot of what we do. So Go show some love if you haven't already, although I'm pretty sure pretty much everyone who's in my chat knows who he is and is already following. So, in the meantime, be excellent to each other, be excellent to yourselves, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.